Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to the Chicagoland Speedway as we're getting set for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series powered by the WRA here in Joliet, Illinois. This is race number 23 on the season. Kevin Joseph, it has been a very difficult season for him. He will start on the pole position and he comes into this race situated 31st in the points, alongside a Katsir Mirmoz, who had a very short day in yesterday's Busch Series race. And now he's making his Winston Cup debut. Jerry Harvick in row number 2 with Ashlyn Wright. Ashlyn Wright third in the points. Jerry Harvick is currently 18th in the points. So two drivers looking very good. Ashlyn Wright only has missed 2 races, but she's done a good job getting herself in the top 35 and also in the top 10. If she wins the championship, that would be something, if you ask me, as far as that is concerned. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, we got 94 laps ahead of us here on this mile and a half racetrack here at the Chicagoland Speedway as the cars are rolling off behind the pace car. Vanko Seaman leads the points by 9 over Matty Crenshaw, 58 over the rookie points leader Ashlyn Wright. Betty Johnson fourth in the standings, 65 back, 72 back is Annie Thomas, who's fifth. Ponzo Albanus gained a spot up to 6th in the standings. Jay Green jumped up 2 spots to 7th. Jessica Miller jumped up 2 spots to 8th in the standings. Josephine Bouvier jumped up 2 spots to 9th in the points, and 10th is Ashley Reynolds, who dropped 4 spots after last week's race at Michigan. Getting set for the Tropicana 400 here at Chicagoland Speedway. This is race number 23 on the season. We are getting closer to the end of the season. Got some silly season news we've just talked about on the Cup side, which we'll discuss in a minute. Which we'll talk about that throughout this race. Pace car is off. Here we go. The Tropicana 400. 94 laps of racing here today for the Winston Cup Series. We're green from Chicagoland. Down the back straightaway we go into turn number 3. It's basically like almost a turn. So there's like no straightaway for these drivers to rest. Jerry Harvick looking the inside. He will lead the first lap here at Chicagoland. Kevin Joseph will fall to second place. These drivers know we're going to have a pit stop in this race. Could be maybe a 1, maybe a 2 stop race if we have cautions that go the way of these drivers. As Jerry Harvick still the race leader. So let's talk about some silly season news that we've just got as I was coming to the track here today. Basically going to be talking about the races we have coming up this season. Or for next season, rather. There's Ponzo Albanus. Elena Aurora running in third. There's Monica Townsend, the 19. Right now, 2 of the 3 Everett Ham Motorsports drivers have been confirmed for next season. Jessica Miller will not be back in the 9 car next season, so we don't know who will be in that 9 car beginning next season. Jacob Foster just announced he is returning to the 91 in the Winston Cup Series next season. The big question is going to be, are they going to have the 9 car be an all-star car? If that is indeed the case, then the 9 car will attempt to qualify for every race in season 3. And Jacob Foster, who is currently outside the top 35, he will end up getting the owner points from Jessica Miller. That way he can be locked into the show for every races. So that is what the plan is going to be if they do go to an all-star on the 9 car. Tom Montgomery losing a spot to Jacob TwoTwo. Jacob will be back with Elena Aurora at RCR next season. Lucy Grainger tried to attempt to qualify for this race, failed to qualify. There's Liliana Beta. Beta will be back with Robert Yates Racing next season with Ashley Reynolds, and there's been some discussions that Futaba Sakura will be going full-time on the Cup side next season, because as I'm recording this, I have not received any updates on Futaba's plans. I would assume Robert Yates Racing would like to have Futaba race on the Cup side next season. As there is Kevin Joseph back in now the 9th position. Was announced Kevin Joseph will be leaving Roush Fenway Racing at the end of the season, because remember, the 16 team is shutting down at season's end to pay respect for Greg Biffle. Of course, he's running the Subway colors this week. And there's been a lot of talk about what will happen to the owner points on the 16 rye. Will it go to the 90 of Futaba Sakura? Will it go to the 97? That's a lot of questions we have to have answered, and we'll probably have an answer sooner rather than later. Annie Thomas in the 82. Annie will be back with this number 82 team, which is now World NOS Racing. Of course, it used to be called American Racing. So she'll be back with Audi next season. Katsura Mirwez as the 20 is off the pace. Michael Anderson is off the pace. Somebody was off the pace for a second. Up caution. Oh, big wreck. Maddie Crenshaw's involved. Jessica Miller. We've had a crash. Oh, boy. H Bluejay, Luna Farmer, cautions out. And Elena Aurora has led us back to the yellow. Who else was involved? Samantha Grainger, Ashlyn Wright, the rookie points leader, Ashley Reynolds, Riley Anderson, Betty Johnson, Drake Robertson. Is there damage to Brad Lewis's machine? Yes, there is. Lot of damage to the USG sheetrock machine. Abigail Stone. No. Abigail got collected in that. Carmen Alejandro. At second in points, Maddie Crenshaw involved. Oh, dear. Caution's out for the first time today here at Chicagoland. Lot of drivers involved in this one. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened in the early stages of the Tropicana 400 here at Chicagoland Speedway. Race officials have thrown the red flag. There is some debris in the corner. Looks like the two rookies got together. Kyle Langland and Abigail Stone. They come down into Ashlyn Wright. Ashlyn goes into the wall. Kyle Langland ran the Busch race yesterday. Luna Farmer got a piece of it. So Luna's already had a rough weekend. Ran the Busch race yesterday. Margaret Jacobs nearly got involved. Shade Earnhardt missed it. Annie Crenshaw got a piece of it. Riley Anderson goes upside down. Who is that just hit the 22? As Riley Anderson's going up all over a couple of drivers there. I think that was where the 9 got a piece of it. Shade Earnhardt did a good job, but the hole just really closed up for the 9. Right there, that was a 9. There's where Betty Johnson. Boy, look at Riley Anderson. That's a wild ride. A lot of drivers involved in this one. We're going to have a lot of drivers out of the race, but the rookie points leader, Ashlyn Wright, was involved. Maddie Crenshaw, second in points, involved in this. A lot of damage on the Air Force Ford. Jessica Miller, who already announced she will not be back in the 9 car next season, out of the race. So And that's good news for the guy that she was trying to run down for the points lead. So let's going to head to the restart here at Chicago. Going to go back to green on lap number 15 of 94. Lane Aurora is the leader. Monica Town second. Punzo Albanus third. Jacob TwoTwo fourth. Cody Smart is fifth. Todd Montgomery sixth. Liliana Beta is seventh as we got some lap cars on the inside. Annie Thomas eighth. Vinko Seaman ninth. That's good news for him because the gal that was trying to run him down for the points lead is in trouble. And Alexander Rowe complete the top 10. As I'm recording this, I have not heard if Alexander Rowe is returning to the 08 or not next season. We'll have to wait and see. Drivers out after that incident. Looks like we got 7 drivers out, but 6 of them were involved in that wreck. Ashley Reynolds, Ashlyn Wright, Riley Anderson, Betty Johnson, Jessica Miller, and Hannah Bluejay. So the struggles for Hannah Bluejay continues. And now you can add Shade Earnhardt to the list. He is out of the race with an engine failure as he blew up under the caution flag. So a tough break for a number of drivers. Second weekend in a row for Ashley Reynolds, 10th in points. So she's going to drop out of the top 10 the points as a result. Ashlyn Wright out of the race. We could have a new rookie points leader leaving today as we're back to green here in Chicago. We'll have to see where the guy that was trying to run her down for the rookie points lead is at. Riley Anderson, 22nd in points. Out of the race. Betty Johnson, top 5 in the points, out of the race. Jessica Miller, top 10 in the points, out of the race. Hannah Bluejay, 15th in the points, out of the race. So a lot of drivers that came in running very well in the points did not need something like this to happen to them. And Chicagoland is playing a part in a points shakeup and will definitely play a part in a points shakeup heading into next week at Hillside. Punzo Albanus trying to get around the black and yellow Dodge number 19. Caution for the second time today. Oh, Kyle Langland's torn up. The points leader, Vanko Siemens, involved. Carmen Alejandro, Annie Crenshaw, and Tatum Wright have crashed. Katsuro Mirmois involved in a crash like he was yesterday. Oh, we got more drivers involved. Lucy Myers, Maddie Crenshaw's out of the race. Ben Tennyson's on pit road. Luna Farmer. Betty Burr, a lot of damage to her machine. Boy, talk about we're about to throw the points lead wide open. Does Jay Green have damage? I think so, because he's got right front damage. That's second in the Rookie of the Year standings. Todd Montgomery coming to pit road. I think that was scheduled. Monica Town's going to stay out. So this is really throwing the championship wide open with a number of drivers out of the race. We're going to jump back and look at a replay to find out what brought out the second caution of the day here at Chicagoland. Well, Katsuro Mirmois got a rude introduction to Winston Cup racing, as they were like 4 wide with Jerry Harvick and Senor Sean. And Vanko Seaman, I don't know if he came down or the 65 came up. Yep, the one car got a piece of it. That's second in the Rookie of the Year standings. Kyle Langland, nowhere to go, runs to the left side of the Napa Chevrolet. A lot of damage to the Visa Chevy of Katsuro. Got clipped by Luna Farmer. Lucy Myers got a piece of it in the 4. Gets hit by Crenshaw, Maddie Crenshaw. Second in points. But how did the 0 get involved? Oh, something happened to Annie. Somebody spun the white deuce around. I think that was Drake Robertson. Yeah, it came back in front of the Snap-on Dodge. And Annie backs her car into the wall. And then nowhere for the Best Buy Chevrolet of Tatum Wright to go. So, oh boy. So the top 2 in the championship have been involved in a wreck. The top 2 in the Rookie of the Year standings has been involved. I really don't know who's going to be the points leader if this is going to be an attrition-filled race. But boy, we're going to have a major point shakeup heading into next week at Hillside. And we're going to head to the restart and see who are the drivers that are still left in this race. We're getting ready to go back to green here at Chicagoland on the white pace car, the Pontiac Grand Prix pace car. Monica Town's the leader. Annie Thomas is second. By the way, I forgot to mention 2 AMP Energy cars in the feature event today. That's pretty good. Jacob TwoTwo is third. Fourth is Elena Aurora. Fifth is Cody Smart. Sixth, Liliana Beta. Seventh, Senor Sean. Jerry Harvick, Josephine Bouvier, and Alexander Rowe will complete the top 10. Out of the race, we got more. Betty Barrett, Annie Crenshaw with a C, not with a K. Katsura Mirmo is going to finish in 29th. What a huge disappointment for the Egyptian driver. Vanko Seaman out of the race. He was the points leader coming in this race. Kyle Langland. Of course, he still has that default 50 points he still needs to get as far as from Buffalo Downs because of my game being a derping hyena. Tatum Wright, Carmen Alejandro, Maddie Crenshaw second in points, and Luna Farmer out of the race. And then they joined Shade Earnhardt, Ashley Reynolds, Ashlyn Wright. So both the Wright sisters out. Riley Anderson, Betty Johnson, Jessica Miller, and Hannah Bluejay back behind the wall and out of the race. 26 cars are still running, 23 of them on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. So this is going to be an attrition-filled race. So the top 2 in the points, first and second, out of the race. Top 2 in the Rookie of the Year standings have been involved in a wreck. Jay Green 21st. Who was third in the Rookie of the Year standings? I think it would be Liliana Beta. And I am correct. And she was a long way between Ashlyn Wright for the rookie points lead. So Liliana Beta, she's got her work cut out to try to gain a lot of ground on the rookie points lead. As the Audi of Annie Thomas leading this race. Annie looking for her first win on the season and the first career win for the Audi RS4. Audi has come super close to try to go to victory lane, but it hasn't happened. So Annie Thomas would like to give Audi their first win. Yellow is out again. Third caution. We've had a wreck on the front straightaway. Boy, talk about this race has been an attrition field. Samantha Grainger involved again. Drake Robertson, I think, was involved. Ponzo Albanus, Kevin Joseph involved. I don't know if somebody called We Need the Cup Series race to be a wreck fest or whatnot, but whatever the case, caution is out one more time. Cautions breed caution so far in this Cup race. Not getting a lot of green flag runs, unfortunately, which is a shame. These drivers are not within their window to make it the rest of the way, but they're going to come to pit road nevertheless. While they do that, let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what caused our third yellow of this race. I think the way these cars were getting closer to each other, it's probably why. I don't know, something happened to Courtney Lynn up here, but contact between Ponzo Albanus and Ashley Horton preceded this mess. Nowhere for Samantha Grainger to go. Remember, she got a piece of that last yellow, or the yellow before that, as Drake Robertson got a piece of it. All 3 cars go spinning. Not a lot of damage on the 11 and the 22, but some damage on the SKF Chevrolet of Samantha Grainger, so... Boy, I tell you what, a lot of drivers, as I said, who came in running well in points, did not need something like this to happen. I was not expecting a wreck fest when I got to the track this morning, but apparently we did, as we're going to head to the restart here at Chicagoland. T Montgomery won the battle off pit road as we go back to green on lap 28 of 94. Still a long way to go, and this is almost like what we saw back at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Top 10 as we go back to green. T Montgomery is the leader. Jay Green is second. Third is Brad Lewis, Timmy Turner fourth, with Abigail Stone in fifth. I think those drivers did not come to pit road, no, Turner came to pit road the caution before. Annie Thomas, Cody Smart, Alexander Rowe, Monica Towns, and Elena Aurora will complete the top 10. And looks like Samantha Grainger has called it a day, and we're already now down to 25 drivers. Oh, one more thing. We're not even 30 laps in this race. So this is almost like what we saw back in Atlanta when we had that gigantic wreck. We're nearing almost half the field behind the wall. And we're not even 30 laps in this race. As Todd Montgomery, as the looks like the one car's damage isn't terminal. I guess they got the fender fix on the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. So it looks like Jay Green is going to be okay. He will let the team know if it needs to be fixed. Remember, he is second in the points. He's been trying to run down, Nathan Orman, who's now out of the series. Now he's been trying to run down the gal for the points lead, who's now out of the race, being Ashlyn Wright. So Jay Green will more than likely, if he doesn't have any issues between now and then, he would more than likely take the points lead for the Rookie of the Year honors heading into Hillside. Which, by the way, I have a Google document sheet that I'm working on for the roster for next season as Annie Thomas blows by Todd Montgomery like he was not even there. And back to the lead goes the Amp Energy Audi out of World NOS Racing. Annie Thomas has not been to victory lane this season. Her last win came at Phoenix back in season 1. That was last season. Of course, that was the season Annie Thomas went to victory lane. Wasn't high enough in points to have her win count for a spot into the chase for the championship. Ended up missing the playoffs. Ended up way down the cellar of the points table. This season, ran the beginning of the year in the 22. And then just before we went to Pocono, made the ride swap over to her custom number 82 that she was going to run for the entire season, but she'll have a full season of that next season. Transferred the points from the 22 over to the 82. And so far, she has done a fantastic job in her own car. Of course, she'll be back next season. This is the same car she won the championship in the Utica Home Track Series back in 2014. Annie Thomas, now 31 years old, basically the same age as me. I'm actually a lot older than Annie Thomas. Of course, I'll be 32 in a couple of weeks, which really feels weird if you ask me. Cody Smart battling with Alexander Rowe in the 08. Of course, we've had Chevys, we've had Fords, we've had Dodges, a couple of Toyotas. You can now add an Audi to the list of things. And of course, Elizabeth Gardner is also, Elizabeth Gardner, who's been in the Busch Series, now up to the Cup Series on the part-time schedule. As there's Elena Aurora going to take the race lead. How about Margaret Jacobs, who started at the at the back of the field? She's clawed her way up into the top 5. We're starting to get a nice green flag run in for a change. Ben Tennyson and Lucy Myers are a lap down, but with the attrition rate we've had in this race, correction, Lucy Myers is 4th in the Rookie of the Year. Liliana Bates was 3rd coming in. Those two ladies have a big deficit that they need to make up if they want to gain some points on Jay Green for the rookie points lead, along with Ashlyn Wright. Margaret Jacobs, of course, will be back in this number 8 car next season for the Cup Series. She, Vanco Seaman, Jay Green. Of course, Jay Green replaced Brittany White in that car. That is the 3-car team for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. So those 3 drivers will be back next season. Elena Aurora, we know, will be back. Senor Sean will be back in the Cup Series in the 7. Of course, Sean's still looking for his first career win in the Winston Cup Series. He's actually one of a few drivers that's on a long drought, if you ask me, as we are still green for a change. Thank goodness for that. Of course, Margaret Jacobs driving this paint scheme that went to victory lane with Dale Earnhardt Jr. at this very track in 2005. Even though it was not called the Tropicana 400 back then, it was called the USG Sheetrock 400. As Margaret Jacobs leads, that's the Budweiser, the red and blue All-Star for Chicago, the MLB All-Star game on Fox. That's the paint scheme that she runs at this very track. And like I said, this is the paint scheme that Dale Jr. won in 2005. That was when he had a struggling season in what was then in real life NASCAR called the Nextel Cup Series. Don't know how long the partnership with Winston will be. We'll just have to wait and see about that. Annie Thomas in 2nd. Of course, Margaret has not been to victory lane in a while, as they're putting Ben Tennyson another lap down. Ben Tennyson's had a season having a race to forget, but he's being a bit gracious, just trying to stay out of the leader's way. Lucy Myers and Drake Robertson going a lap down. Ooh, Annie Thomas nearly cut off Alexander Rowe as she got held up by Lucy Myers. Remember, Myers has been involved in multiple wrecks, same with Drake Robertson, but for the most part, the leader's doing a good job getting around these lap cars. As we're coming up to the halfway point of this race. The top 4 drivers, I know 3 of the, hold on, 3 of the top 5 drivers we know will be back next season. Margaret Jacobs in the 8, 31, Elena Aurora, we know she'll be back. Liliana Beta, we know she will be back next season for their respective teams. Cody Smart, we know, is retiring from full-time competition at the end of the season. That's why Carolina Bradley will be replacing um, Cody Smart in the Cup Series next season, the 12. As for Alexander Rowe, I have not heard as I'm recording this, and we'll probably get some answers on what his plans are for next season. Of course, Alexander Rowe has been trying to qualify for every race this season. Almost made his debut at Rockingham, but had an issue with the car during post-qualifying inspection. But he's done a good job in his limited starts in this car. Lena Aurora. There's Liliana Beta. Liliana Beta ran the Busch race yesterday, finished a lap down. Of course, Liliana's hair was like still wet, you know. Of course, I talked to her after she was in street clothes. Her hair was like very wet. I don't know if she dries her hair or not after she showers after a race. You know, I asked her, you know, what happened. She said, I had a vibration, had to come to pit road, and basically just had a flat tire. So basically ruined what was a good finish, which to Beta, it really doesn't matter in the Busch series because she's not running for the Busch title, just running for the Cup series. So she's having a bounce back race here today. So kind of like what she had Friday on the truck side. Just had a quiet run in the truck race, not a good run in the Busch race. But of course, that was only her only start in the truck series because she was replacing the suspended Ingrid Pollard for what happened last week when Pollard got took out her frustrations on Gretchen Mueller after Mueller sideswiped her coming out of the pit lane last week at Michigan. There's Jerry Harvick in the 18. Jerry will be back with this team next season. I know Ponzo Albanus will be back. Who'll be driving the 20 is to be determined. Jerry Harvick. Another driver from New Zealand, from Zachary Fitzwater. Speaking of Fitzy is going to attempt to qualify for some races on the Cup side, knowing his road course prowess. He will be in the car the race at Riverside. He will attempt to qualify. I think it's the 59, I want to say. I don't know. I'll have to confirm that. All I know is he will have to attempt to qualify the car into the show. Got some cars scraping the wall. Abigail Stone back in 21st. Looks like Jay Green, the right front fender, is starting to get worse. Luke Knight's off the pace. Turner battling with Ponzo Albanus. Josephine Bouvier, J TwoTwo having a quiet run with Todd Montgomery. Senor Sean in 13th. Courtney Lynn, who ran the Busch race yesterday. Oh, Kevin Joseph in trouble. Tire went down on the 16, so our pole sitter has got a tire problem. Hopefully that won't bring out a caution or not. And Jerry Harvick still leading this race. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. I am not setting up my face deal, you stupid thing. 143. That's okay. $143 I made. Yay. Oh, caution. Caution is out. Oh, TwoTwo has crashed. Jacob TwoTwo has crashed. Somebody has wrecked the GM Goodwrench. I think he and Bouvier. And that was not what Kevin Joseph wanted to see. Because Kevin Joseph just came off pit road. As a result, he's been trapped a lap down as a result. Boy, that flat tire really came back to haunt him. Now the question is, will these drivers have to come to pit road? Probably these drivers may not take a chance of risking of running out of fuel. And they are coming to pit road. So right call, because they were getting closer to having to make green flag pit stops. While they are making pit stops, let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Jacob TwoTwo as we're nearing 30 to go here at Juliet. This is what happened to Jacob TwoTwo and Josephine Bouvier. They were running 14th and 15th at the time of the crash. I think Josephine Bouvier's car got a bit tight. I think Jacob didn't realize that. And the two just made contact, and the 99 is going to spin the 29 around. And Jacob's going to back his car into the wall. Some pretty significant damage to the back end of the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. I don't know how much damage the 99 got. Looks like she slapped it really good with the... Ooh, got it with the left front and the left rear fender of her Ford. And Bouvier came into this race... let me see. 9th in the points. Jacob TwoTwo came in this race 12th in points, boy. Tough day for a number of drivers running well in points, but we're going to see what happens as far as that's concerned. We're going to head to the restart. Caution is out one more time. We're going to have 30 laps to go when we go back to green. Kevin Joseph is now on the tail end of the lead lap due to the fact that he came to pit road before that caution came out, so he got trapped a lap down, ended up staying out, so he took the wave around. Jerry Harvick is the leader still. Alexander Rose second. Third is Margaret Jacobs. Elena Aurora fourth with Michael Anderson in fifth. Good run for Michael Anderson, who started last in this field, or 41st. Cody Smart sixth. Courtney Lynn seventh. Liliana Beta eighth. Ninth, Monica Towns. Annie Thomas will complete the top 10. Nobody out of the race from the instance we have 25 drivers still in the race, 22 on the lead lap, could be 21 before this is all said and done. So Kevin Joseph, who started on the pole, has had an adventurous day. So he will try to get another caution, get back on the lead lap. Ooh, that was close. Courtney and Lynn almost got together with somebody. Right now, 18 of the 42 starters will fail to finish as things stand. Jerry Harvick now the leader. Now Kevin Joseph is now one lap down, so now it's 21 drivers on the lead lap. Everybody can make it to the end on fuel. That was one thing they were kind of worried about, fuel mileage playing a factor. So they definitely had to make 2 pit stops today, and they've now made their 2 pit stops. So they are good to go the rest of the way. Courtney Lynn just announced she will be back up here to the Cup Series next season for Hendrick Motorsports. Brenda Eveling will more than likely remain in the Busch Series. She'll just attempt to qualify on the Cup side, which I think is the right thing to do. Just past 100 miles here in Joliet. Let's go on board Jerry Harp, see what is it like to race at Chicagoland Speedway. You can definitely tell on that onboard camera how much he is out of the throttle. Of course, remember, they're on fresh tires, if you know what I mean, as we're approaching lap 70 of this race. Liliana Beta. Last time she won at 1.5 miles, that was Las Vegas. This is actually the same car she won at Vegas with earlier this season. Battling with Monica Towns for second. Courtney Lynn having a quiet run in fifth. I believe Courtney Lynn is the only go or go home driver that is still in this race. Because Kat Zero's out of the race. Kyle Langland, Carmen Alejandro's out of the race. Shane Earnhardt's out of the race. I believe she's the only driver who has not had any problems other than Alexander Rowe. Abigail Stone's already had troubles, but she's running in a respectable 17th. Not great, but not terrible for Abigail. But I talked about it during poll day qualifying yesterday for Abigail Stone. You know, take nothing away. I know she's going to be disappointed, but let's just remember that she should be proud of herself getting that car into the show on her first attempt, which is nothing new for a number of these rookies that made their debut. You know, Jacob Foster's made his debut. Liliana Beta's made her debut and a lot of that. So Abigail Stone just added her name to the list of drivers that have made their Cup debut, even though it's not the finish that she wanted, which is right now down to 18th, but still, you know, her goal, even though she just needs to finish this race, just get the experience, you know. I mean, just be proud of the fact that, you know, she got this car into the show. As we're down to 20 laps to go here in Joliet. Brad Lewis is now the last car on the lead lap in 21st. Kevin Joseph's really going to be kicking himself for having that flat tire before the yellow came out. If he would have had the caution before his flat tire, I think he would have been okay. But because it happened after he came to pit road and the yellow came out, it didn't do his hopes of staying on the lead lap any good. And unfortunately, really sucks for him, but it is what it is. A number of these drivers that are in the top 10 that are struggling in the points, like Timmy Turner, well needed run. As what is going on with my phone? Monica Towns, former Buffalo Wild Wings Series champ from 2023, has not been to victory lane since she won the Clash at the beginning of the year, but that was a non-points event. The ex-Indiana Motorsports driver who comes into this race 33rd in the points, and the good thing for her, a lot of drivers ahead of her in the points ran into troubles today. Timmy Turner, 29th in the points. Ben Tennyson, despite being a lap down, don't know where 24th is going to situate him. I can tell you the points are really going to get shaken up. That's for damn sure. Ben Tennyson, Lucy Myers going to hold up Monica Towns, as it's these three lap cars that are getting in the way. Oh, Ben Tennyson nearly chopped off Jerry Harvick there. That would have not sat well with Zachary Fitzwater. Down the, as we've completed 80 laps on 81. These drivers are definitely going to go get a pizza after this race, knowing we're here at the Windy City. What has been a very chaotic race this weekend. Truck Series was calm and clean. Busch Series had a few yellows, but had a nice green flag run. Today it's been a wreck fest. So the wreck fest has come to the Cup Series, to no surprise of my own. And of course, we're guaranteed a new winner because the defending winner of this race, Melissa Cooper, is not in the series anymore. The car she drove, Betty Johnson, is out of the race. Watching Iron Chef America on YouTube, or on my Pluto TV, excuse me, on my PlayStation. Monica Towns looking for her first points event win on the season. As Monica Towns, the former Buffalo Wild Wings Series champion, Monica Towns will forever be a Buffalo Wild Wings Series champion in the record books. That nobody will take that away from the ex-Indiana Motorsports driver. Of course, driving for Ricky Cervantes. She made a pledge to Ricky Cervantes. She wants to race. She wants to stay in the series. She wants to be still competing, and can't say I blame her. She wants to race, and Ricky took on that, gave her that, took the chance on Monica Towns. And I know Monica hasn't had a good season, but this is going to be a proud victory if she can hold on these next 10 laps, 9 to go next time by. But I love the attitude in Monica Towns. You're here to race, you want to race, you don't care about the controversy that happened with her last season. That was last season, this is this season. And I think a lot of people know that Monica is capable of racing in the Cup Series. This is a driver, drove a Ford Mustang in the 13 car in Buffalo Wild Wings, got one win, made the playoffs, remained consistent. Didn't matter how many wins you had. Consistency was the key factor in Monica's championship that year. And yes, I know she didn't have the results she was looking for in the first 22 races. But Monica never, she came in this race a total of 51 points above the cut line. But Monica said, I understand the bad luck. I understand, me still adapting, to Jacob Foster and Jessica Miller. But, I've been in this position, of whenever I have my down days, and not only to help, Jacob Foster. I mean, Jacob Foster is glad to have Monica Towns because she's a former champion of the Buffalo Wild Wings series, which I think that's a big deal when you're a teammate, when you have a teammate who's a former champion on this channel. That's a big deal, if you ask me, and that's why for right now, Monica Towns, Jacob Foster, they're the only two that's confirmed. We don't know what Jessica Miller's plans are for next season because she's not returning to this team next year. And, you got to praise Monica, and I talked to her during dinner, last night. I asked her, are you concerned that, the Buffalo Wild Wings Series championship was just too good to be true? She said no. It doesn't matter what happens to me. And I know Ricky knows, I can win a championship. I can be that gal that you're looking for that has the championship knowledge that can win a championship. And we've seen Monica do that in the series. And Monica, can win a championship. She's done it before. She can do it again. I know this first season, to develop with a new team owner, didn't know what was going to happen to her going into this season. They won the Clash. She wants to prove that Clash win was no fluke. It meant she means business. As we're down to 2 laps of racing to go. And, you got to be proud of Monica, who wants to stay. She wanted to stay with this 19 bunch. She's had a great time with this bunch. And she's about to reward them with their first win on the season. As here comes the white flag. One more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. It will be the 3rd win on the season for Everham Motorsports, as Jessica Miller is a 2-time winner this season. And Monica Towns, who made the commitment, she also hasn't won a race in a long time. So, well, that streak's about to come to an end. And off of 3 and 4, a driver who's had a difficult season is going to get the job done. The former champ is back. Monica Towns takes the Tropicana 400 here at Chicagoland for her first win of the season. And Monica Towns, who reminds me of Annie Einstein, whenever she had a struggling season, kept fighting and knows you can still win races regardless of how bad your season is. And Monica, who, as I said, near the bottom of the 30, right near 35th in the standings, this is a well-needed run for a driver who's had a tough year. But Monica Towns well. She will keep fighting to the very end. You got to keep fighting. And Monica Towns kept fighting to get the job done, and she got it done today. Jerry Harvick will get second. Jerry led a very good part of this race, 18th in the points, so that will move him up through the points table. Liliana Beta gets rookie of the race in third, so she's going to gain a lot of points on Jay Green and also Ashlyn Wright, as far as that is concerned. Courtney Lynn will get fourth. Good run for Courtney Lynn, who is making her fifth start on the season, so she will bypass Chloe Erickson, also jump ahead of a number of drivers that DNQ'd ahead of her in the points, so a well-needed run for Courtney Lynn. Margaret Jacobs got a fifth-place result. Margaret came as race 20th in the points, so good run for her, and a number of drivers ahead of her in the points who had troubles today. This was a well-needed run for that Bud team, so that paint scheme really did well. Timmy Turner, it's been a very difficult season for him. 29th in the points, former winner this season. Well-needed sixth place for him. Todd Montgomery will come home in seventh. Todd came as race 16th in points, and with a number of drivers ahead of him in the points that ran into trouble, this could put him possibly in the top 10 in the standings. We'll have to see where that's going to situate him with seventh. Michael Anderson, who announced he will not be back in this ride next season. We don't know what the future will be for Joe Gibbs Racing in the 20. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to depend on, silly season, what's going on in the trucks or in the Busch Series Championship as far as that's concerned. But a solid 8th place for Michael, who comes in this race 25th in the standings. Annie Thomas had a quiet run in 9th. Now, Annie came in this race 72 points back of the points lead. And, of course, she finished ahead of all four of them. So Annie Thomas is going to capitalize on the misfortunes of her four rivals, including her countryman Betty Johnson, who gets a solid 9th. And Jay Green got involved in a wreck, kept fighting. Despite the damage, will come home in 10th. Jay Green will take the points lead in the Rookie of the Year standings heading into next week, which that will be the first time he's led in the Rookie of the Year battle as far as that's concerned. Lane Aurora got 11th, Luke Knight 12th, Alexander Rowe 13th, Senor Sean 14th, Cody Smart completed the top 15. 21 drivers finished the race on the lead lap. Brad Lewis was the last of them. Kevin Joseph, that flat tire came back to haunt him as he got trapped a lap down, never was able to recover. He will finish in 22nd on what has been a very struggling season for him. As you look on down to the rest of the finishing results, 25 drivers did reach the conclusion. 21 of them, as I said, finished on the lead lap, and 18 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race after all wreck fest we've had to endure. Those drivers out were Samantha Grainger, Betty Barrett, Annie Crenshaw. What a shame for Katsura Mirwais making his debut. Got involved in a wreck through no fault of his own. It's been a tough weekend for him as he comes home in the 29th position. Vanko Seaman, the points leader, out of the race. Kyle Langland had a difficult couple of races, even though he did well at Buffalo Downs. Out of the race, Tatum Wright, Carmen Alejandra, tough break for her. Not the finish she was hoping for. Maddie Crenshaw, second in points, out of the race. Luna Farmer, out of the race. Shade Earnhardt, out of the race. Tough break for Shade, as he was the only driver out of the 18 that didn't reach the conclusion. That was out with a mechanical failure. Everybody else was out due to wrecks as far as that is concerned. And Hannah Bluejay's free fall through the points will continue as she will finish in the 42nd position. So a lot of DNFs we had in today's race here at the Chicagoland Speedway. But we want to congratulate Monica Towns on her first win of the season. I'll look through and see how many career wins it will be for Monica Towns as far as that is concerned. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your points are down in the description as a result of this chaos we had here today. We'll see the Cup drivers as they'll join up with the Busch and the Truck Series drivers next week at Hillside International Raceway. And now for our studio engineer, Caleb Haas. I'm Dean DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from the beautiful city of Joliet, Illinois, just southwest of Chicago. as we congratulate Monica Towns on winning the Tropicana 400. Coming up next, we'll rejoin your Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. I'll talk to you next week from Hillside. You've been watching the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.